Money makes the world go round, and the Fed to see what happens. Will it stop turning? Let's find out.
Down it goes, buying some more. Keep on selling, buying some more. Can't go wrong, going up for sure. Still at least 10x in store. Down it goes, buying some more. Keep on selling, buying some more. Dropping to levels we've seen before. Smart money's keeping score. Down it goes, buying some more. Keep on selling, buying some more. VIX spiking up fear to the core. Young longs will not endure. Down it goes, buying some more. Keep on selling, buying some more. Bottoming out, price will soar. Going all in, new heights to explore.
Mate, you're mad. How much more are you planning to spend? A bit? Cause I know for a fact you sell your nan as a means to an end. True? Starting to think you already did with you buying against the trend. Bro, are you daft? The market is in tatters, so make me understand. Okay, hang on. I remember you telling me you'd never need no one to hold your hand. Then how come you're asking for a handout when it's time for the rent? What's one about? The flipping voice note from the other day? Figured that's what you meant. Not a clue. You were being cryptic about needing cash for blood or something. Care to expand? Alright. I said,
absolutely skin, got some money I could lend. There's some blood in the streets that I really need to tend. Retail's panic selling while big money's pitching a tent. I'm telling ya, massive gains on this liquidation event. Trust me, do yourself a favor and spot me 20 grand. It's a time sensitive matter, so come on, give us a hand. I swear on my nan's life it'll be back by the month's end. Just mark my words, this'll be bang on proper money well spent. Huh? I don't get it. You got bugger all left in your bank, but still proud you stand. Present. Well done, all chuffed with yourself. Guess the bloody memo didn't get sent. What? Are you finally losing it, bruv? Never thought you'd bend. Never. But with your recent spending behavior, makes sense, that's where you'd land. Mate, what a mess. Can't keep going on like this, I'm telling you as a friend. Good. You've been flat out racking up debt, that's just about to cause a dent. Only to waste it on positions far too hot to defend. Sure, H, my guy. You're having a laugh. You saying all of this was planned? Listen, come on, have a seat. Let me explain. 9 to 5 on repeat was driving me insane. Not a chance to compete, so took a different lane. Voted with my feet and went all in on this game. See this sheet, that's how much I stand to gain. Plans already complete, now waiting on the rain. Nowhere near defeat, just in temporary pain. Next time we meet, I'll no longer be the same. Keep on selling.
All right. I think you should be able to hear me now. Hello. Thank you all for being here. Let's sort this out. I don't know what I'm doing. Still the jankiest live streamer in the game. I hope you all can hear me, and if someone could always confirm. Am I talking on mute? I think you should be able to hear me. I know there's a bit of a delay. Shout out Sheepherder for the new beat as well. Thank you, Sheepherder, for that one. Coming in with a different vibe. Loud and clear, good audio. Okay, happy days. I'm sorry I'm a bit late. I decided to spend some extra time in the gym and I got a bit distracted and carried away. Then I had to eat. But here's the CPI data. So, I mean, the Camel Crew knows what I think. So, we're looking at this 3%. Yeah, like I said this morning on the main channel. Yeah, that's good enough, right? That's close enough. We weren't expecting this one to be surprisingly cold. We are, however, expecting the next one to start to exhibit that resumption of that primary disinflationary trend. What else have we got? 0.5 month over month. That's kind of high, right? It's definitely above forecast. Core also sticky. Okay, fine. And again, month over month. So I guess the big question is, does it matter, right? Do we really care? And I'm going to be operating with the policy of, if the market doesn't care, then why should I? So I will have a quick look at this. Actually, before we get into this, I have set a super chat goal. If you guys want altcoin analysis, then there's a super chat goal there. If we hit 20 super chats of any size in 45 minutes, I will do at least 25 minutes of altcoin requests. All right. So that's the best I can do. It's the best I can offer you. Now, looking at these charts, Bitcoin, I mean, it's still trending down, right? But as I was saying this morning, that's good. I don't want this thing to break out now, because otherwise then we're going to have to talk about inversions. We're going to have to talk about maybe my count's wrong, and maybe this wasn't an inversion, and maybe this is the real count, which means we need to move this one over to here somewhere, and maybe this is what's going on, right? I don't want to have to deal with any of that, and I'm sure you guys don't either. So I'm hoping we can just continue to be contained below resistance, and it seems like that's what we got. It seems like this is all okay. Happy days. If we can just get into next week without breaking out of this downward slope in red, then we will officially be inside the timing window, meaning any breakout is for real, is Camel saying, yep, that's it, cycle low's in, and hopefully what we can get is some kind of nasty puke. I don't think it has to go really low, but it would be nice to just sweep every low that's currently in. So I think the lowest low is, what's that? Let's say 89, 88k. If we could just about undercut that, maybe 87, something like that, I think that would be the most ideal situation, just because it will be easy to identify, right? If it just comes in, prints a lower low and swings and then breaks out, then we're not going to have any trouble pointing at that and saying, there's the cycle low. Right in the timing window, it looks textbook, happy days. It might be a little bit more complex if it kind of does something like this, breaks out early and then has to retest. Then we get this kind of higher low position, situation, whatever you want to call it. And again, it wouldn't be the first time for Bitcoin. If we come back here, you can see we had a cycle low, okay, kind of faked out in the downside, a higher low / timing base low, and then off we go to a new cycle. And it also did the same thing back here at the bear market low, right? Cycle low, fake out failed cycle, where it wicks the cycle low, but doesn't close below it. Higher low, timing base low, off it goes. So it wouldn't be the first time, it would actually be the third time this cycle, if we get some kind of higher low squiggle. And obviously the main reason I don't want to have to deal with that is because it's just more complex, right? It's just harder to know whether we should be buying this breakout here right on the initial break, or whether we should be playing patient and waiting and hoping for a retest. It's also, you know, wouldn't give us a lowest low, so it'd be a bit jank. So I mean, that's pretty much it, right? All the while we're underneath the red. Happy days. If the market doesn't care, why should I? The market at the moment does not care. So we continue to head down here. We continue to potentially set up some trendline breaks. I don't like that one, it's way too steep. And in case you didn't know, the steeper they are, the more prone to failure they are. But yeah, that's pretty much that, right? Bitcoin heading into the cycle low. I can see all manner of super chats coming in. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay, let's flick back off here. Hang on a sec. Yeah. So that's Bitcoin. What about gold? Well, gold getting a little bit of a pullback, but in the scheme of things, especially if you put it online, I mean, really? Invisible, I think. So we are currently on, I believe, we're right in the middle of the cycle here, day 12. So yeah, any kind of pullback here would probably be a half cycle low, which I think likely resolves to a higher high. And then we get full right translated cycle decline. Again, absolutely no changes to the plan. I'm still saying the same things, which is good. It might be boring in terms of daily content, but we don't want to have to be putting 5, 10, 15 scenarios on the table and saying it could go up, down, left, right, backwards, forwards, back in time, right? We don't have to be dealing with that. Instead, we just want to keep saying the same thing. Yep, we are heading into a cycle low. And until such time as that shows up, then we continue to stand with the posture. And for the stock market, let's have a look. VIX popped to 17, so that suggests to me we're getting an initial sell-off here. As always, as well, guys, remember that I don't really trade CPI day for this reason. We're probably going to see up, down, up, or some kind of chop from here. And so it wouldn't at all surprise me, right? It seems initial knee-jerk reaction is actually not that bad. That's by no means a big red candle. It could, of course, worsen. But we are also in that timing window for a half-cycle low bounce, and maybe we get, you know, some kind of bounce from here, whatever, roll over into the end of the month or early March. And of course, that would line up with this one back here. And then again, it would look an awful lot like Bitcoin's, wouldn't it? It would look a lot like this, sideways. There you go, and off we go. So maybe that's what we're setting up for. If it does break out first, and today just turns out to be a shakeout, which of course is entirely possible since CPI loves to do that. It loves to down, up, down, and then reveal the direction on Thursday and Friday. Then of course, there's a thesis to trade that. But as always, on a CPI day, I'm not really interested in jumping in front of any trains here or anything like that, trying to get flashy. I'll just sit back, let it do what it's going to do, and then we can talk about potentially getting underneath some setups on Thursday or Friday if they present. But given where the cycles are, given that my main focus at the moment is on catching this, then I don't really see any need to be trying too hard here or changing anything or trying to get cute. I think I can just sit tight and allow this thing to come to me. And so far, it seems like it's so good. So that is that. I need to drink some water. And I'll read a few comments and we'll see what's going on. Cobra, I've been meaning to get Cobra back on the show. Thank you, brother, for the super chat. I appreciate it. And yeah, I would love you to come back on, perhaps. What day are we on today? I'm losing track of time. Yeah, perhaps late this week or early next week. Or the week after, if you're busy. Let me know. Let me know. Give me a DM on Twitter or something. We'll sort it out. Thank you, though, brother. I appreciate it. What have we got? Charlie, can you just send 21s? I actually don't know how it works. I think they've got to be £2 or more. I don't really know, though. But don't send it if you're a member. Fartcoin. What's going on with Fartcoin? How much to pay for no Fartcoins here? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked at Fartcoin. Hot print helps us find the lows. Yeah, I think it kind of speaks to the cycles are in control and everything else is narrative that we use to explain away price action, right? You know, we could maybe have interpreted this as, oh, well, this is good. You know, we can continue paused for longer and everything's fine and we can just keep having a bull market. Or we could probably also have spun it as, oh, you know, that's not as bad as we thought it might be. Or whatever. I think it's just, there's a million ways to kind of phrase it, but ultimately if the cycles are down, then that seems to be top trumps as far as I can tell. So yeah, that's that. Goodness me. You can tell I'm more depleted from being in the gym, can't you? Maybe I should hit the crack pipe. With the next weekly cycle low around the corner, do you think this will be the last of the cycle? No, but I do think we should take some profit. Or I'm going to, anyway. Benjamin as well. Thank you, brother. I've lost my train of thought. Okay, so weekly cycle low and double. Let's do that. We will turn off that one and turn on this one. So, I mean, we're getting pretty close now, right? First of all, let's zoom in. So, yellow squiggle, doing yellow squiggle things. Getting pretty close. I think that's probably a bit late. Yeah, it is. It's probably going to bottom closer to... It's probably going to bottom somewhere in here, I would think. But not far off for an arbitrary yellow squiggle. Now, the next thing to point out is once we find that weekly cycle low, then we should be looking for another double, right? Because that's what the prior cycles have done. And it should probably be quite quick and quite a lockout move. And probably a bunch of people will doubt it and not really believe in it. I think a lot of people are looking for a distribution up thrust here and then a rollover and die. I think, I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus publicly, but I can think of one or two much larger accounts than me, 10x the size, that are calling for this to be distribution and a top and an end to the bull market. Which makes me think the pain trade... Oh, and those same accounts I should mention are also talking about this being the time to see rotation into altcoins. Which makes me think the pain trade really is a nasty lockout violent rally like we saw back here or back here. And altcoins don't take part in this just yet. I think if we're going to be honest and we're going to see altcoin rotation, we would see it out of here during this next blue box. I would think if you're an altcoiner and you're hoping to see some kind of blast off, that would be the neighborhood. My guess is that would be where we see ETH outperform, if it's going to outperform. But is it? We don't know, right? It's to be determined. For me, excuse me, I'm not really that interested. I just want to catch this weekly cycle low and hope that a double's coming. So I still think the pain trade is weekly cycle low and a big Bitcoin dominant rally that locks most people out, has everyone doubting it, and altcoins don't really do much. I'm sure a few will, of course, but whatever. I also think it's important here to point out a couple of things. I've said this a bunch of times, but that has to be bull market invalidation for me. Once that cycle low's in, if we fail, then I'm selling my spot and I don't care. I'm probably going to dump all my long-term crypto stocks as well and just assume that the bull market's done and this was the top and the distribution crew are right. So that's the next thing. And the other thing that I think I should mention, although I'm largely kind of keeping this as an ace up my sleeve for the members, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to lighten spot up here. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use a third angle because this is late enough in the cycle that once we get a breakdown here, I'm going to be lightening up spot. And then we can play the next weekly cycle low, hoping that it gets another double for sure. We can do that. But also at this point, by the time we then decline weekly cycle low, it's like October-ish, right? Left translate and fail and die and then down into that 4-year cycle low. I don't know. It makes a lot of sense to me to take a lot off here. And then I can always reallocate it here with a tight stop, draw a line underneath that and use that as bull market invalidation once it's in. But I won't really be able to live with myself if we get all the way up here, the double completes, we're at 180k, maybe more. Hold that thought. I'll tell you why it could be more than 180k. And I don't sell, and then that ends up being the top. And by the time we kind of do something like this, weekly cycle low, fail, I won't even know until here, which means I would have missed the top by quite a lot in this scenario. If I measure that, you know, I would have missed the top by a lot more than if that really is the top, then would have missed it by about 18 or 20%. So that's my thinking right now. One thing at a time. Let's find the weekly cycle low, draw a line underneath it. Let's get exposure to the crypto stocks, catch extra beta. Let's see if the double manifests, and if it doesn't, then of course we've got our invalidation. But I am thinking I have to pay myself here. I really do, because I mean that's over a 10x off the lows from our initial position, right? So I have to pay myself. I can't allow a 10x to turn into a 34% decline from the top. It's just I couldn't live with myself if I do that. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And then again, we can play the whole cycle low again if this is coming. Now, I said a minute ago, it could be higher than 180k. You got to be careful when you're bullish because people accuse you of being a moon boy or whatever. But if we go all the way back to the 2017 bull run, right? In fact, let me show you why first. So we'll get rid of this and we will put on, I think it's this one. Yeah, so that's the 2017 bull. Did the chat die? Did my OBS die? Can you still hear me? Have I been talking to myself for ages? I got an OBS error message. I don't think it's the first time I've seen one. But have I just been talking to myself? Are we still live? Can someone let me know, please? I'm back. Did you miss much? Have I been gone for ages? Just a couple of seconds. Okay, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 5 seconds. All right, we'll rewind just a little bit. I can't remember what I was saying. I think what I was saying is we're most similar to 2017 cycle. Okay, yeah, that's what I was saying. Out of all the cycles, and particularly if we're about to find a weekly cycle low any week now, right, next week, and then double, we will still be far more similar to 2017's bull run than any of the prior cycles. Now, if we go all the way back to the 2017 bull run, and we kind of use this same weekly cycle low analysis, right? We, from the weekly cycle low, this time around, instead of a double, we got 158%, okay? From this one here, for example, we got 150%, right? So these weekly cycle lows resulted in 150% rallies. I think that's a half cycle low, yeah, and then here, right? But notice by the time we get to here, which is where we are today, okay? This is where we are in the cycle. So notice we go weird shape, okay, and then 2 peaks close together, go to the hard right edge, weird shape there, and then 2 peaks close together. So that's where we are now, staring down the barrel of this, right? If we go all the way back to 2017, you'll notice that consistently the weekly cycle lows resolved to 150-ish% each time, okay? And then once we got here, they get more extreme. So this is now 250%. Then we go weekly cycle low. We get 160% this time. Then from here, we get a much bigger blow off top move, 500-odd%, which of course speaks to increasing angles of steepness, right? 1, and then consistently there 150, 150, 150. Then in here, they start to get steeper, 200%, right? 250. And then in the final blow off top angle, we're near vertical and we get this like 500% blow off top move. So there's always a chance, keeping that in mind. Let's zoom out and put this back on. That whilst we've done that part of the cycle, right, 100% or 94, 98, 90, 120, it may now be time to start to see more than 100% come out of here. It may well be that 100% is conservative. If we've done the 2 angles, or maybe now we're about to go 3 and then 4, it's entirely possible to me, in my mind at least, that this might end up resolving to, let me turn this fractal off, it's getting a bit muddy. Where is it? There. To my mind, it's entirely possible we could see this extend to 150-ish%, which would be that 222 level. Yeah? And then maybe have a nasty violent correction. And then if we get that 500-odd% mush, which I doubt we will, but we'd be at the $1 million. And of course, as mad as that sounds, as insane as that sounds, and as moonboy as that sounds, really what it would be is just simply continuing to track the 2017 fractal. Now, is it going to repeat like clockwork? Obviously not. Are these fractals just kind of a joke? Yes, they're the crayons of TA, as I often say. I think you should steer clear of anyone that uses them seriously, because they're really just tools for YouTubers to fit a bias to. That's, you know, if I don't use the squiggle and I turn this off and I get my pen and I go, hey guys, this is how I see it, right? This is how... No one's believing this. I know the Camel Crew have got a lot of trust and faith in the yellow squiggle, right? But outside of that, if anyone was to look at this, they would be like, what are you talking about, right? This has no credibility. It's just a yellow squiggle. But if I do the same thing using a fractal and I can stretch this out and find one from any market, anywhere, right? I can always find a fractal to fit my narrative and bias. Suddenly, it looks a lot more like it's got credibility, right? So obviously fractals are just that. They're basically a joke. But here we are, tracking the fractal. So not to be traded from the profile of the weekly cycle lows, I think it's entirely possible that we get a double and perhaps even more than a double, 150%. It's not a call or a prediction. My job really is to draw a trend line underneath it and sell it when it breaks down. But for those reasons, I think this is the area for me that I'm going to take my first chunk of profit. Again, as always, we can play the cycle low. And hopefully that answers your question. So let's put the fractal back on because it's nice to try to manifest this. That would be pretty sweet, wouldn't it? $1 million. Excuse me. People are saying it's cutting in and out. Is it okay now? Is it okay now? Has this become terrible? Everyone's saying the audio's buggy. I don't know why the audio's buggy. It should be fine. Seems fine on my end. Maybe. Is it? I haven't actually changed anything. It's exactly the same settings as it always is. So it should be fine. Everyone's saying it's fine now. Okay. They need to refresh their page. Okay. Okay, good. Thanks, guys. Can I please buy some Altcoin? No. No. Everyone's saying it's fine. Okay, cool. Yeah. ZZ is just... I don't think ZZ understands how the how the super chat target works. But you are a member, right? So I feel like kind of have to oblige here. What is Mantra DAO? All right, we're going to take a hard left detour. What is wrong with me? Mantra DAO. What are you... Is this it? Okay, look at that. That's pretty cool. First ever bullish looking altcoin chart I've seen. I don't know what to say about it apart from I would manage risk using this. And that's pretty much that. Rune, I don't know what Rune is. Market cap will be fine. Oh, not as good looking, is it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say. For me, I couldn't touch this until it broke back above there. And I would have probably been out here, I would have thought. Or in the worst case scenario, here. So yeah, that's all I can say about that. Let's have a look at a few more of these. Just because you remember and you did. Fet. Brother. Oh, is this that fetch AI one? Okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Bruv. Try that one. Looks just as bad. Yeah, I don't like to do TA when there's so little price history. Tell. What is tell? How many? Stop. Guys, stop it. This is not how it's supposed to work. Yeah, same deal. Too little price history for me. We'll do ETH. Yeah, we'll do ETH. Okay, please stop requesting coins with the... No more. Final warning. No more. I'll do these two, and that's it. And then we'll do ETH. And then you'll be wasting your money after that. Unless we hit the target, then I guess we got to do it. Crow. Is this, Oh, yeah. Nah, this looks trash, doesn't it? Not for me, anyway. And what was the other one? Vet. Yeah, again, like, what am I supposed to do with this, you know? My sort of negative IQ says breakout, retest, resumption, but would I trade it? No, definitely wouldn't. And then ETH. We'll do ETH really quick, because that should be pretty straightforward. Still following the yellow squiggle of doom, right? I posted this. I was half trolling when I posted this, but since it has kind of ended up following it. So we did get a fake breakout. I know Raoul Paul is super bullish, super bullish. I don't know, man. I don't know. And until the yellow squiggle invalidates by breaking out this downward slope in red, then it's hard for me to want to get away from it, to be honest. And again, going back to the Bitcoin idea, where's Bitcoin? I think if you're going to play ETH, or rather if I was going to play ETH, I would want to play it from here. I would want to see all the following conditions met. Weekly cycle low, double, and then in here, this blue box, that's where I'd want to play ETH. I'd want to, because people like me, remember, if this is right, as I just told you, I'm going to be taking profit here. Now, for me, I'm probably going to do something other than put it in ETH. I can't really see me rotating my Bitcoin profit into ETH, but there's surely going to be other people in my position that will. So for me, that's the area where we'd see ETH do something, which kind of makes me think, let's pull this ETH chart back up. Kind of makes me think we might see this thing kind of chop around and not do much until May or June. And then if it's got a catch-up trade, maybe we get a huge Dalai Lama here, right? And then here is where it goes. That's as nice as I can be. You know, you know me, it's not personal, it's business. And that's just how I see it. Open to being proven wrong, as always. Let's look at this Bitcoin, ETH Bitcoin pair. Because again, still trending down, which kind of makes me think if my Bitcoin idea is right, Bitcoin's about to double, maybe this continues again, middle of the year. And then, like I said, we get that rotation if it's going to happen. Do you know what's really interesting? I was thinking about this just before I hopped on live. It was interesting to me, at least. Just how this cycle, a lot of people made the assumption ETH would outperform Bitcoin. And then for the first time ever, it hasn't, right? Hence, before outperformed, prior cycle outperformed, this cycle has not. I was thinking we're observing this exact same phenomena in the precious metal markets at the moment, right? At the moment, we've had gold absolutely ripping out of its 8-year cycle low, which historically speaking meant silver was ripping even harder and faster. And for the first time ever, lots of people like me, assumed silver would be outperforming and outpacing gold here, just as people thought ETH would be outperforming Bitcoin. But for the first time ever, it's not, right? I mean, it's done okay, but this thing should be $50 by now, in my opinion, and it isn't. There's the prior high for silver. Let's get a weekly or a monthly chart. I'll go weekly. There's the weekly. Excuse me. There's the prior high. I know there's a one before that as well, but there's this $50 high here, significant. We get the breakout, okay, and yeah, fine. It's popped up 29% from that breakout level, but it still currently sits. What's this? 35% off of the highs, which is weird because then you look at gold, and gold is completely smoking its prior all-time high. Gold is up 50 odd % above its prior all-time high. So that's weird. That's very, very weird. And I don't know if it, like Ethereum, we can ask the same question for both of these markets, right? The question is, does Ethereum and silver have a massive catch-up trade in it? Is gold going to squeeze higher and Bitcoin going to squeeze higher? And then do we get that rotation sending silver and Ethereum into the stratosphere? Or, for the first time ever, is something different? Are we actually going to get this giant sort of head duck? And are we going to see something completely different here? And it could be different. I know you should never say this time is different, but what if gold is rallying because central banks are going to use it to reprice higher and plug the debt? In which case, silver, who cares, right? It might actually not take part. Maybe there's not enough retail silver to actually push silver where it needs to go. And the same for Ethereum. Maybe Ethereum is underperforming because this entire Bitcoin bull run is driven by BlackRock. We don't know that, right? And institutions or whatever it is. But maybe that's what we're seeing here. And that's why it is different. Because under the hood, for the first time ever, you've got institutions saying we want to bid this thing all the way to 300k. And they're just not interested in Ethereum. So I don't know, right? We can all sit here and speculate forever as to which one of these is the case. At least for silver, my bias is that it plays catch up. But again, maybe it doesn't, right? For now, it certainly isn't. So it's kind of a weird time, but I can't help but draw the parallel between Bitcoin, ETH, and gold and silver. We have reached 20 super chats. So I guess we got to do a bunch more of these. I should have set the limit higher. So yeah, that's my thoughts on ETH. All right, let's catch up on some of these. Pond. Bro, what? QNT. Someone was trying to shill me this a long time ago and then called me ignorant for not wanting to look at it. Joke's on them, I guess. ALOS. What? Wrecked. Oh, is it I? Is that my eyesight? Yeah, that one looks a little bit better. Higher highs and higher lows is what I want to see. I don't know, man. I don't know. What am I supposed to do with this? CRV is covered. It's the most shilled altcoin I see. I see so many accounts. I'm using that term loosely, but I see so many people who CRV's coin is their favorite, particularly amongst the Elliott Wave guys I respect. There's a few of those Elliott Wave guys that see something in CRV that I don't. In fact, let's have a look for experiment's sake. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what we're looking at. I can't. I just can't. But to each their own. What's my plan if this weekly cycle low gets to 50 or 60k? Tank the damage, I guess. I mean, for this to get all the way back to 50 or 60k, it won't look like a cycle low. It will look like a market implosion at this point. even 60k. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We have to stop here, right? At 70, 75-ish, I would have thought. And then get a bounce in a failed cycle. In which case, I would have missed the top by quite a margin. But I don't think it goes all the way back here. Time will tell, I guess. But I mean, what would have to occur to drive Bitcoin all the way to 50 or 60k? And it would look very weird on the chart, right? If that. Because think about it, the cycle bottoms next week. The week after, really, at the latest. So, in 2 weekly candles, we'd have to... it'd have to look like this. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure at all. It would look like an altcoin at that point. I just don't... I don't see it, personally. I guess it's a non-zero probability, but I really don't think so. Alt season. Bonk, please, Camel. Why would you go all in on bonk? Brother. Brother, please. Please don't do this. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know what I'm looking at. You know, there's no price history. It looks like a huge... You know what this looks like to me? Well, is this a meme coin? It kind of makes sense, right? You get a big blow off top and then start this huge distribution process before it kind of dies. I'm guessing. I don't know. But I just don't know why... I don't know why anyone would do this to themselves. Unfortunately. Hopefully you bought it here, in which case you could still leave with some profit. Hopefully you didn't buy it here. But yeah, man, I don't know what to tell you. It's just so outside of my system. It's so far outside of my risk tolerance and profile that I can't even comprehend it, really. We'll do Link and XRP because I can see loads of people asking for those. Link USD. Why have I got space in between? There we go. Look at me go. What was this? Range break. Oh, I think we used to cover this. Or at least I used to use this as an example. I've clearly been here before, somewhere. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it is making higher highs and higher lows, right? These are highs. This is a higher high. These are lows. This is a higher low. So far, higher low. So, you know, maybe get a repair in here and we can talk. Maybe. But I don't much like the look of it. Also, massive underperformance for Bitcoin, right? It's like it's barely 300 and something % versus Bitcoin at 600. So that's that. XRP is kind of a gnarly looking chart. Is this whole thing one expanded flat 2? Because if it is, if it is, then we go in like this next. I don't know, man. I'm spitballing. Or the other idea is, did it manage to clear the high from back here? Maybe. Not quite. So maybe it's just about to die from here. Head and shoulders. Right? Is that next? I don't know. I have no idea. That's the funny thing about these altcoins, is you don't know, right? You just have no clue. This wick, Dalai Lama. I wonder, this is, you know what I was saying about ETH earlier, right? Weekly cycle low, Dalai Lama, and then rotation, maybe, as Bitcoin gets rotated out of at the top of this upcoming weekly cycle. Maybe. I don't know. Or again, this could be expanded flat 2, and then into 3, 4, and 5. I have no idea. I'm just being honest. Peak. P-E-A-Q. I mean, it looks pretty topped. But it looks also looks pretty late. I mean, there was an opportunity to get out here. There was another one in here. You could push a luck one. Kind of, my guess is it does this. I don't know. See how many, what we got. Oh yeah, others. Let's do others. Any alpha on how you structured your learning, trading, timing at the beginning of your career? Yeah, so originally I did work full time, which is why I like the daily chart, because you only need to focus on the closes. I was able to do quite a lot of studying whilst I was at work, which might sound a bit crazy. Not when I worked in a lab, but when I went into an office, I was just given work and left to do it. So I could spend quite a lot of time researching and looking at charts and stuff. And then I used to go home and just obsess over it forever. And I never really stopped that. It's still pretty much all I do. So it's really just a case of, I think, becoming a learning machine and a sponge and learning everything you possibly can. And then at some point, you may end up using it. That's kind of my approach I took. Let's look at others. And what else did I miss? We've done bonk. We've done peak. Okay, others. Breakdowns everywhere, but still higher highs and higher lows. Let's clean this up. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I don't know. I don't know. My idea for this is still that it probably will make a target higher up. But I just think the breadth is going to continue to be thin. I just think a handful of coins are probably going to do 10 or 20x from where they are now. And that will be enough to drag this up here. Right? Like if XRP goes to $10, what will the market cap be? Quite a lot, right? Coin market cap. What's the market cap? Yeah, so if it can do like a 5x from there. Although, oh wait, is others excluding top 10? Yeah, it is. Okay. Well, what about SWE or something? Can do a 20x. And I don't know, man. I don't know. But that's just my idea. My idea is that the breadth is going to be thin and a handful of these are going to carry this thing well higher. But we'll find out, right? We'll find out. Maybe it just doesn't even make target. That's the other way. Maybe this is complete and it's working on a breakdown. XRP to $36. I mean, 3 6s for the New World Order coin, maybe. Solana, yeah, how can we have missed that? Sol USD. Is this still outperforming? We've been here before as well, apparently. Fire and warning signs. What if? Let's clean this up because this is all a bit jank, isn't it? I mean, it's still kind of above there. I think you can justify being long if you're above blue, but start to lose that, and I don't know. It kind of looks 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know, man. The performance is good though, right? Off the lows. I mean, it's definitely beating Bitcoin by a long way. So that's good. I think I saw a thing the other day with Raoul Paul talking about this going to 1,000. Which would be pretty crazy, right? From here. Is that possible? I don't know. I have no idea. But I would be a seller below this blue, for sure. Lose that upward sloping blue and I'd be out, I think. Good grief. I mean, that looks terrible. That looks absolutely terrible. I guess you can play. You could play in here. No, I wouldn't. Would I play in here? No, probably not. I don't know. This looks like it's never coming back. To my eye, that doesn't mean it. That doesn't mean I'm right, of course. It just looks terrible. So yeah. Yeah, Rao is shilling a few weird things. Some Church of a Smoking Fish or something. Chicken smoke fish as well. Something like that. Yep, I would love to do another session with Tony. Satoshi gifted 1 Camel Finance membership. Welcome to Tiny Conspiracy. With a name like that, you'll do well here. Half of these coin requests have just been so you can dunk on them. Yeah, I mean, what else can you expect from me, right? I've not done a collab with Mobster, but I would be up for it. Fellow UK crypto YouTuber guy. Regarding gold, is there an ETF that's 100% backed? I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. But to my mind, everything is paper unless it's in your hand. If it's physical in your hand, then you can call it physical. And otherwise, anything else in any form of derivative, whether it is that crypto one like Pax Gold or, you know, an ETF or an ETN, an ETC, whatever it is, I consider everything paper gold unless it is physically in your palm. Some of these comments are so good. Smoking chicken fish. It is something like that. I swear it's got church in it as well. Church of the Smoking Chicken Fish. The thing that confuses me is I don't understand how they, you know, they're in a position that they're in. They don't need any more money, but yet they're like, let's speculate on the most intensely speculative things ever to come into existence, or at least into existence in the last couple of decades. Yeah, you say Invesco claims to be, but Invesco in the kids, there's that same statement in Invesco, and it says, if we mess up and we can't pay you, then that's on you. So it's the same kind of deal, man. It's the same deal. It's kind of weird. What's the new product service I'm working on? I don't think I'm allowed to say. I would love to show you it. I would actually love to show you it. But I asked if I could leak part of it the other day, and they said no. So I think you're going to have to continue to wait for a bit longer. We've changed loads of it as well, and now it's actually getting better and better. So I'm really excited. But the business partner of mine is had a bad experience before. He told me when they launched something and the traffic came in heavy, and he doesn't want the repeat of that. He wants everything to go really well and really smooth. So we're just kind of like making sure it is flawless before we roll it out. And we could do it in small bunches, getting people to test it, make sure it works, all of that kind of thing. But it is coming. It's coming soon, and I'm very, very excited to show you it. Held in custody, gold IRA. Again, you can use Camel's simple rule. Is it in your hand? If yes, it's physical. If not, then it's counterparty risk. You know, We can do the same thing with Bitcoin, right? Is Bitcoin on an exchange yours? What if Coinbase has got it? What if it's in the spot Bitcoin ETF? What if, you know, blah, 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 blah. You know, unless it's cold stored and only you have the keys, then you don't own it, right? It's not your keys, not your coins. And it's the same thing, like not in your hand, then you don't own the gold. That's how I see it. Tesla. How do you actually buy physical gold to hold? Using a bullion dealership. There's a link in the description to most of my videos to TavX. I'll show you real quick. And we'll do Tesla as well. Tesla, TavX. So this is one of many, many, many ways to buy it. But you just go to a bullion dealer like this and then buy a piece of gold. And if you use the discount code, you'll get a slightly cheaper price as well. I don't actually get anything back out of that other than the ability to also use the discount code for myself. But I think TavX is the cheapest if you're in the UK. And then it's down to you to store it, right? Because obviously you probably don't want to keep it in your house. Or somewhere that you could be kidnapped and taken to. It depends how much it is. If you're just going to buy a few ounces, then it doesn't matter. But same as your Bitcoin seed, right? You can't have a large amount of Bitcoin in your house. It's got to be multi-sigged. And then you've got to ask yourself the question, like, what if the government kicks the door down and sweeps the house? Can they get to it, right? What if you die? Can your wife or beloved recover it, right? Or is there someone nominated in your family to deal with that? You've got to run through all of these things. What if there's a house fire? What if there's a flood? Blah, 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 blah. You know, you've got to run through all of those same questions with the gold. You know, if you have a house fire and your gold is, you know, is it going to be recoverable? What if your house is flooded? What if someone kicks the door down, right? You know, you've got to go through all of these things. And not everyone has that kind of facility, you know. For other people, you could just not tell anyone. Buy 10 ounces of gold, stick it in a shoebox in the bottom of your garden, don't tell anyone, and then how would anyone know, right? Obviously, if you're a YouTuber that talks about owning gold and Bitcoin all the time, then you may need to... What's happened here? Reload. Am I dead? Are we back? Is it ended? Can you hear me? Are we good? Did it break? Can you hear me? This thing's bugging out on my end. We can hear you. You can hear me. We're good. We're good. You sure? Okay. Everything just froze. The chat died. My Chrome crashed. Okay. So yeah, I think what I was saying was you've got to treat your Bitcoin and your gold with love and care and affection, right? We heard all your rant. Don't worry. Okay, good, 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 good. So yeah, just ask yourself all these questions, right? If someone kicks the door down, if blah, 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 if there's a house fire, if there's a tornado, and you got to have an answer to all of them because you never know. And if you're going to hold the stuff yourself, then you are the security department at the bank, right? The Bank of Camel or the Bank of You. So yeah, that's that. Now, let's take a look at Tesla because this is a picture, for now at least. So, I mean, for me, it's not super interesting, to be honest. If it could break out of... let's get rid of this. If it could break out of this, then I could maybe see myself playing a breakout. I probably won't play it because my focus is elsewhere at the moment. But I wouldn't be, like, super surprised to see me play a breakout from here if it could do something like this. But unless it can, then I'm not really interested in it. Froze on Tesla chart. Is it okay? Yeah, Tesla looks rinsed as well. I agree Tesla looks rinsed, to be honest. Let me see if I can pop this out. Pop out chat. Let's go. Stick that over there. Resize that. Oh, yeah. Seems to be working. And can you see the Tesla analysis? Not that it's really analysis, just a trend line, but does it work? Yeah, Dylan, that story of a guy who threw away a hard drive and has been trying to pay the council to go and dig the landfill up or something, that's been circulating for the entire time I've been in crypto. So I think that story's getting on for 10 years old, 10 years old, something like that. Getting on that way. I think it's more like 8 than 10, but yeah, they recycle that a lot. That same story comes up. How about uranium? It's not something I track really. Well, that looks okay. Definitely an uptrend, right? Higher highs, higher lows, happy days. Can't really complain with that. Dogecoin. Dogecoin is a bit of a weird one. Bruh. Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to draw a silly trend line and say that unless it gets back above there, then I can't. It is making higher highs and higher lows again, though, so there's that. So yeah. How much do you aim to grow your portfolio? Well, as much as possible, but the golden rule is 70%, I think. I think if you can't hit 50 to 70% a year, then you might as well not really trade, because you can get it just by holding Bitcoin. You know? Like, even if you're not a trader, anyone with a bit of cycle knowledge can buy somewhere close to the bottom and sell somewhere close to the top. And you can miss both by quite a lot and still make a massive difference. And, you know, even if you missed the bottom and didn't get in until 25k, right? I mean, in the last 2 years, it's 300%. So if you can't do at least 50 to 70% with trading, I don't know why you would bother, really. I showed before in a members video how accomplishable that is with spread betting. I went through like mathematical examples and that kind of thing. But yeah, I really think that you got to have a word with yourself, because I know some traders are like, oh yeah, 15% CAGR, and you think, why? Why? You know, why put in all the time for 15%? But I appreciate it's easier said than done, right? And it only takes 1 or 2 silly mistakes in a year, or 1 or 2 deviations from a risk management strategy, and suddenly you're in a real big hole and you've got to fight your way out of it. So yeah, I mean, but that's my thoughts. It's kind of like, you probably be able to outperform most people. Most traders can be outperformed by buying and holding Bitcoin. And I think there's something to that. Even by just DCAing 20 quid a week, or whatever the number is, you're probably going to outperform most people that trade. So it's worth thinking about. Woofy is coughing up half a lung. What does that mean? Was that a Dogecoin reference? All right, how long have we been doing this? It says, almost an hour exactly, I think. Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty cool. Okay. Well, something I've learned about these live streams is if you love them and leave them, then they'll come back for more. But if we drag this out for 3 hours, it will fizzle out. So I think it's better to end with a bang rather than fizzle out. So I will say thank you all very much for being here. I hope you enjoyed today. Thank you for hitting the super chat goal. I hope you enjoyed me dunking on your altcoins for a bit. And as ever, big love from Uncle Camel, and we will see how the market progresses over the next coming days. Of course, we'll be back tomorrow with a little bit more update on the CPI. We'll reassess the charts. I'll do the yields and stuff and the dollar tomorrow, because we'll let the dust settle, right? We know there's going to be some chop and games. Also, the 10-year yield spiking, but we expected the counter trend bounce, right? We'll do this and then we'll go. So, you know, we were talking about this. I was actually originally calling for it here, right? I said like counter trend bounce and then a breakdown. So yeah, I think that's probably what this is. A little bit of relief and then a breakdown, okay? And we'll just cheat this yellow squiggle a bit. We'll just put this here, and I think we won't be far wrong. So anyway, we'll cover this in detail tomorrow. Again, thank you all for being here. Appreciate you all. Thank you for all the super chats. Cobra, give me a shout and we'll do a link up. And other than that, have a fantastic week. Cheers, everyone. Bye.